Welcome back to Shine the Final. Today we're going to discuss the top 10 supplies that I go for when I paint with oils. Although I am saying top 10 supplies, if you go into the blog post, which I'll put a link in the video description, you will see that there are 12 things listed, but the last couple of things are something that you would probably find handy in your home, or rather it is useful for any other paint medium, so I'm not really putting it in the top 10. So let's get started with what you would need to keep continuing with your oil painting ventures. First of all, you would need a surface to paint on, and you can use wood panels, canvases, canvas panels, canvas paper, whatever is your budget or your liking. I put a link in the video description to a detailed video that I have about different surfaces you can use to paint on. And once again, let me tell you that I'll put a link to a lot of videos here because I have already talked about quite a few things, and I'll keep mentioning it as we go on. Next thing you would need is oil paint, of course, and coming to a balance between the price and the quality. I think all the different brands that I've tried so far, I think Winton from Winsor & Newton is the best bet. Like I said, comparing the price and quality. Of course, there are much better brands like Gamblin and all, which are pricier, and there are much less expensive brands which are not that good quality, and I definitely don't recommend going towards the inexpensive, not good quality, and you can obviously go towards the better quality. Next thing you would obviously need is brushes, and I have a detailed video, put a link in the video description about how or what kind of brushes to buy for oil painting and what I typically use. Next thing you would need is medium. You can use either liquid or you can use a combination of linseed oil and paint thinner, or rather odorless mineral spirit. I use both of them. Both of them work for oil paints. Liquid is obviously fast drying medium, and I think it works a little bit better because of the fast drying part. Other than that, both work the same. Even if you don't choose OMS or odorless mineral spirit or paint thinner as a part of your medium, you would still need it, and my preferred brand is this odorless mineral spirits by Mona Lisa, and you would need it for cleaning your brushes. Again, you would need a container to put it in. Make sure it is kind of tight, has a tight lid, because although it is odorless, it's still toxic. And you will find some of the cleaning tanks in the store which has a little coil at the bottom. That's really useful because you can scrape off the excess paint. For me, what I do is I first scrape off the excess paint on the rags or paper towels, and then clean the brush in the brush tank, and it doesn't muddy up the paint thinner quite as much. And of course, once you let the thinner settle down, the paint will fall at the bottom, and you can pour off the cleaner paint and reuse it for your brush cleaning purposes. Another thing I recommend, but it is not a must-have, is having this Masters brush cleaner. You don't have to use it every time you paint with oils, but after every 2 or 3 times you paint with oil paint, you might want to clean your brush thoroughly. It restores your brush, gives it a nice shape back, cleans thoroughly, and obviously extends the life of your brushes. Next thing, very important thing, is palette. Now, when I first started off, I bought an Easel, and it came with this wood palette. You can use a wood palette like this, that's not a problem. The problem with it is that, you see, it's a color where you cannot judge your values. If you're mixing color on top of it, not always will you will understand whether you have achieved the right color or not. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. A cheaper and better alternative is to go for a glass palette. You don't have to buy an expensive glass palette from the store. All you can do is take a piece of glass, from dollar store picture frame and tape it on all sides. Put white or tan colored paper at the bottom so that you can judge your values better, and then use this as a palette. And if the paint dries up on the surface, then you can scrape it up with a metal scraper that you find at the what you call the hardware stores. Okay, well, I'm not even finding words right now. I have this palette holder, palette container thing. Let me show you the lid. So this is the whole thing. It is by Mattersons, and I strongly recommend this because a lot of time when you're painting with oils, you will end up with some leftover paints on your palette, and this has a airtight sealed lid. So once you snap this lid on this and the paint in the palette will stay wet and usable for the next 2 to 3 days, even more sometimes. So that's definitely helpful. So with that, and we come to the last but very important thing, that is the easel. You need a very sturdy easel. Do not buy a flimsy, throwing bombed easel. Because what happens is that when you're putting pressure on your brush, on your canvas, trying to put paint on, they can slide back. So you want a sturdy easel, and not necessarily they're very expensive. Like the one that I have over here, it's a metal easel. It's very sturdy, very strong. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. Not the best of the best, but still works very well. With the coupon, it came under $100. I'll put a link in the video description as well for that. Last couple of things, we have already done the first 10. Last couple of things is paper towel and lighting. Let me talk about them. Now, I personally try not to use paper towel, trying to think of a better ecological alternative. I use rags. I have plenty of old t-shirts and stuff, cotton rags available. I use them. But if you want to go the paper towel way, use either an industrial strength paper towel, or you can also go with the Viva brand. That works as well. The reason these kind of paper towel work only is because the fibers do not come off and come on the paint. They come into the paint. That's definitely helpful. And the last thing, but very important thing, is lighting. Not necessarily we always paint in daylight, or in the room that you paint in has very good lighting. So that you always understand your values and your colors perfectly, you need to have a good light. So what I have here, and you cannot see it right now, I'm sorry about that, is an OT light that is called, I think it's called Easel light. I'll put a link of that in the video description as well. It screws on your easel, and it's a click-on, click-off light. Not very expensive, but it works wonderfully. Helps you see and judge your values and colors so much better. And that's all you need to get started, and that's definitely all I use for my oil painting. I hope you will find this video and all other videos very helpful. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll also put links to all my social media presence and website so that you can keep track of what I am working on and what's coming up. Thank you for liking and subscribing.